You're Perp back with another video, and I just got done watching Del Toro's version or adaptation of the story of Pinocchio. This is a movie I've been looking forward to ever since I saw the trailer way back when. It's using stop motion animation, and I definitely want to check out the little behind the scenes of just how it was created, because this was by far the best Pinocchio story we have gotten in years, since like the 40s version, which was like 80 something years ago, which is insane to kind of think about that Disney movie is that old. Didn't watch the Disney Plus version, didn't really care to, but anyways, we're not here to talk about that. But if you've seen Pinocchio, I think you're pretty much familiar with the story. But what Del Toro does here with this iteration, he injects more like Italian lore, or just not lore, but culture within this movie. You're introduced to Geppetto. You get all this backstory on his son Carlo that passed away or got killed during the war. A bomb just fell on the church, and he just so happened to be in that building and wasn't able to get out in time. And to see Geppetto and just his relationship with his son, and also getting narration from Jimmy D. Cricket, or Sebastian J. Cricket, voiced by Ewan McGregor, was phenomenal. And I just like how they introduced his character. And this is very different. It's familiar, but it's very different. Like I said, it's a very darker, it's much darker in tone as far as the certain things that they talk about in this movie. There's a lot of themes of life and death, and they go really in depth with that. It's interesting, it's fascinating, because you see Geppetto just full of life, just loves to create. Everybody is showing him love throughout town. People respect him, but then as soon as his son passed, he just kind of went in this downward spiral, drinking a lot, and just becomes this frustrated, bitter, and just like stubborn old man, to the point where it pushes him to create Pinocchio. And this is where we get kind of introduced to like the mystic side of things, where we see these creatures that are not exactly fairies. They're not. There's no Tinkerbell in this. It's literally, how I see it is like it's life and death. So every time Pinocchio might die in this, he goes into the afterlife, which is so fascinating. And you have this other kind of storyline where you have this carnival dude that, looks at somebody like Pinocchio and just sees money. And that's what's interesting, because you'll have other people that have weird reactions to Pinocchio, but they also kind of want to use him for their own gain, where Geppetto just wanted some to kind of fill that void of losing his son. And man, just the way that this whole movie came together was amazing. Like, if you have a 4K display or anything, the visuals are going to really pop. And it's just, it just blows my mind whenever I see stop motion animation, and how patient you have to be to get each movement right, and just the journey that Pinocchio takes, where from his perspective, he sets out to make his father proud, somebody he can, not feel like he's a burden to. And Geppetto is looking for his son, because that's what a father should do, is, make sure their child is okay, protect them at all cost. And just, I loved how this all came together. I thought it was just beautifully well crafted. Pretty long, it's a 2-hour movie, damn near. And you could say, you could cut off like 10-15 minutes to kind of make it flow a little bit more, but I never felt myself checking my clock at any times. I just felt that this was a long movie. But I would definitely watch this again. I think this is one of the better movies that I've seen this year. One of the better Netflix movies, period, that I've seen in a long time. But yeah, Del Toro is having one hell of a year. He had Cabinet of Curiosities. Now he has Pinocchio. I would like to see him do like James and the Giant Peach, because that's what it definitely reminded me of watching this kind of art style. But if you've seen this movie, let me know how you feel about it. To me, it's the best Pinocchio story that I've seen in years. Definitely my favorite, just because it felt more mature. There's just more going for it. Just seeing Pinocchio going through all these different adventures, learning what friendship is, and even with the whole lying thing, even though I will say they don't do too much with the lying stuff, like with his nose growing. There's like a few creative scenes that they use with it. Other than that, brilliant movie. Let me know how you guys feel about it. Till next time, I'm out.